Traditionally a warlike people, the Maasai probably originated in the Nilotic region of the northern Africa from where, around the 15th century, they moved down to the region crossed by the Great Rift Valley in Kenya and Tanzania. The Maasai speak the Ma language. The Maasai are one of the most impoverished tribes in East Africa. A noble and dignified people, they have proudly maintained their traditional lifestyle and cultural identity despite pressures of the modern world.
What is a Maasai house? Variety of houses is called a traditional boma. Material used in the construction of huts are cow dung, mud sticks, grass, and ash. The roof are made from almost anything like sticks, reeds, tin, etc. These are materials. Their way of life is centered on cattle. Inca jijik are either circular or loaf shaped and are made by women. These are materials. Why these Inca jijik are made only by women? Because it is her house. Maasai women tend to be shorter than the men, so it's not uncommon for the men as they grow older to develop lower back problems while being indoors. This is non material. Enkang. There are villages that are enveloped in a circular enkang fence. These are built by men. Why these are only built by men? Because the men protect these cattle at night from wild animals. This is also non material. The Maasai people move very often. Why the Maasai people move so often? They move from one place to another as they look for water. Maasai are nomads, but they live in houses that are locally constructed. They have to pasture their livestock. Finishing touches are done with a mix of cow dung and water. Why are cow dung used in to make house and huts? Maasai villages have burned cow dung inside to repel mosquitoes. The cow dung what makes the roof waterproof. The huts are formed by a framework of branches lined with a mud and cow dung which together forms an effective insulator against the heat and the rain.
Walls around the possession of livestock, which is their only source of sustenance.
Maasai tribe are the longest people in Africa. This is because of the rich protein, calcium, and iron intake in their diet. Maasai tribe mainly drink milk and blood. Half of the time there is no water in the nearby rivers is the reason that they mainly choose to drink milk and blood. Where do they get the blood from? Well, they drink cow's blood by making a hole in jugular vein with an arrow and then the wound is covered by mud and grass. The blood is then collected in bowls. The reason behind drinking cow's blood is that it is rich in protein. Not only this, it is very beneficial for people with a weak immune system. Both fresh and curdled milk is drank in this tribe, while on special occasion a mixture of blood and milk is prepared and drink as a ritual. It is also given to sick people and to drunken elders to alleviate intoxication and hangover. They prefer eating sheep, buffalo, and goat meat, and they mostly eat meat. However, the meat is either fried or roasted. Also, the meat is mixed with blood. They also have honey as one of the prime ingredient in mead, a fermented beverage that only elders may drink. They also eat tree barks. Most recently, the Maasai people have supplemented their diet with farm crops such as maize, meal, rice, and cabbage. Most importantly, a small blurb after the meal is signifies satisfaction.
One of the main purposes of the herd is to pay the bride price, which is a sort of remuneration in kind paid by the future husband to the family of the bride. The groom's family presents either money or cows or both to the bride's family as a gesture of his willingness to marry her. The payment of bride price is a sign of the man's commitment to take care of his wife and is seen as a symbolic act and a necessary part for upholding the culture. Here, the material aspects are cows and money, whereas the non material aspects are the commitment of the groom. According to traditions, the Maasai practice many ritual ceremonies. Ceremonies are an expression of Maasai culture and self determination. Every ceremony is a new life. Materials used in ceremonies like cows, bloods are material, whereas the self determination and how it represents a new life is non material. Maasai society is organized in groups divided according to age, this being said for men and women alike. Maasai men have three phases: childhood, warrior, elders. The first initiation of a Maasai boy is the Enkipata, a ceremony occurring before the circumcision. A delegation of boys between 14 and 16 years of age has to go on a journey with the elders who guide them. Just before the operation, boys have to take a cold shower to purify themselves and also cut their hair by shaving them completely before every ritual of passage, both for men and women. The Maasai shave their head as a sign of new beginning. Here, the cold shower and the shaving of the hair is material, and how it represents purification and the sign of a new beginning is non material. This ritual of passage raises an individual from childhood to adulthood. The boys are given typically adult objects, especially a heavy spear, a herding can for big herds, and a shield. The objects are material, and the belief that the ceremony is a passage from childhood to adulthood is non material. The next ceremony in the life of a Maasai man is the Yunoto, marking the transition from a young warrior to the high level warrior. The waiting time between the two rituals often lasts to 10 years. The Yunoto consists of a trial of courage. An animal's horn is thrown on a fire, and the warriors have to pick up a piece of it before it is completely consumed by the flames, which represents the material nature. The person who succeeds in doing so will be hit by misfortune, but if no one does it, then all the men in his age will be cursed, and this belief is non material. Before this celebration, a warrior cannot eat alone or in front of women. He always has to be with other warriors. Drinking is forbidden in front of women too, but it is possible to do it outside the village. This practice is material. This prohibition to eat in front of women aims to teach young men to be self sufficient and not dependent on their mothers for the preparation of food. Furthermore, they get ready to adapt to hard environmental conditions. This belief is non material. By educating young people about their future role in Maasai society, the rites serve to induct them to first Moranhood, then as young elders, and finally as senior elders. Respect and responsibility, safeguarding of the lineage, transfer of powers from one age set to the next, and the transmission of indigenous knowledge, such as in relation to livestock rearing, conflict management, legends, traditionals, and life skills, are some of the core values embedded in those rites of the passage. All these rites are non material. Women, on the other hand, only have one rite of passage. The ritual consists of the removal of clitoris and, in some other clans, even of the outer labia. Aside from the actual surgical procedure, the rite includes a ceremony in which the entire community comes together to celebrate the girl's passage to adulthood. The ceremony of the removal of clitoris is material, and the belief that it is a passage to adulthood is non material.
Thai group lives very collectively and they very much believe in unity. Therefore, every individual finds themselves carrying the tribe together. This can be seen in their way of clothing and dressing. Men and women have same clothes, just the ornaments worn are different. Accessories worn by women during the marriage where she wears broad beaded necklace depicting the map of the village as the woman adopts her husband's home as a new home and the feeling of new beginning. The broad beaded necklace would be the material, and the feeling of new beginning would be the non material. They also wear heavy collars to represent the bride's price that the husband will give to the bride's family. The number of beads in the necklace depicts the number of animals that the husband would have to give to the bride's family. This is a symbol of pride for the Maasai community. After marriage, women wear long necklaces with colorful beads and they believe that each bead has its own significance. Therefore, more beads, higher the social status. Beads are the material and the social status would be the non material.
Young girls wear flat beaded disc as a sign of grace and femininity. Flat beaded disc would be the material and the sign of grace and femininity would be non-material. Men are considered superior and made to be warriors, which is why they wear a special robe called the shuka, which have geometric patterns on it inspired by the Scottish and the European culture. The shuka would be the material and the warmth it provides would be the non-material. Red is the main color for the Maasai tribe and it is used for various reasons. 1. The lions are scared of the red color and the Maasai tribe have a history of hunting down lions. 2. Red by nature is predicted to be the color of danger so that no animal attacks them. Also to carry their rich cultural passed down the generations. Red is the color of superiority, power, and is worn by elders. They also wear light jewelry to show that they are still a part of this community and feel proud. Superiority, power, and the feeling of proud would be the non material, and the jewelry and the clothes they wear would be the material. Young boys wear black for the ritual Maratha, which is a circumcision rite of passage and their transition into men. They wear black for months to show healing and mourning of child days. The black clothes and the ritual Maratha would be the material, whereas the feeling like struggle, healing, and mourning would be non material. Warrior men also wear some specific ornaments like ivory bands on armlets, rungu, which is a wooden stick, and sem, which is a short sword made up of metal. These depict power and strength and accoutrements of manhood. The ornaments like ivory bands, rungu, sem are the material, and power and strength that it depicts is the non material.
Concluding our inquiry, Maasai tribe is a very diverse community and they have a very rich culture. With their warriors and all the acts of bravery, they are truly fearless.